Hey, wrestling fans. Welcome to One Winged Wrestling, where we help you navigate the complex world of pro wrestling, bringing you the best matches, world class wrestlers, and news you can count on. At One Winged Wrestling, we bring the elite to you. My name is Bill Cutbush, and you may notice the absence of one Mr. Krishna Denai, who, well, it's closet time again, right? That employer in his closet, feeding him soda crackers, locking him up in it. I don't know. I think this evening he had something that's called a team event. I don't know what that is. Are they doing trust falls on each other? I don't know. I'd like to think that they're doing like trust fall dives on each other. That would be pretty cool, but I sincerely doubt that's what's actually happening. Um, I don't know. Team events. What do people do at these team events? Yeah, I work alone, so I don't know. I mean, I'm a team of one. So yeah, team events, happy fun times. The only ones I remember from my former jobs were all kind of lame. Didn't really do much. Yeah, yeah. Anyway, so that means you guys are all stuck with me to do the pre-show. Krishna has promised he will be here for the post-show, assuming that the team does not handcuff him to the ring and do trust falls on him until he passes out and they need to take him to the hospital or something. So today, good day in Toronto. Christian and I were yakking about the Leafs last time. The Leafs actually won that game, so they're up 3 games to 1. But Christian and I have walked that road before. We really don't expect anything from them. At least I know I don't expect anything from them. Wake me when they reach the Stanley Cup finals. Anyway, but that's not what we're here to talk about tonight. We're not here to talk about the weather. We're not here to talk about my current lack of a cup of coffee. We're not here to talk about the Toronto Maple Leafs. We're here to talk about AEW Dynamite, which happens tonight. And I'm going to predict the show. I'm going to give you my picks for where I think the matches are going to fall, whether or not I think anything on this card is going to come up to the Omega level, which, as we all know, is the penultimate level for things in wrestling. And I'm going to guess Krishna's pick, though he did send me one pick, and it will be pretty obvious later. But I'm going to guess the rest of his picks and guess his reactions. So, yes, anyway, what is happening on the show tonight? Well, Dynamite tonight, April 23rd, 2023. And the first thing on the card that we're going to discuss is Tony Khan is making an announcement. Now, I need to preface this. He never said big announcement, crazy announcement, zany announcement, mega announcement, nothing. It's just Tony Khan's making an announcement. Now, this could be something very simple. I'm thinking it's going to be one of two things. We're going to get the announcement of the Owen Hart tournament again, which would be very cool. Good tournament. I like it. Or he's going to announce the Saturday show. Now, it may be a little early for the Saturday show announcement. I mean, if the date in July that we talked about on Monday with the potential return of CM Punk in Chicago is I'm sorry, June. It's June 17th. So we're like 2 months, almost 2 months out from that. Maybe a little early to announce it, maybe not. So I kind of don't think it's going to be that. I am leaning towards this being the Owen Hart tournament announcement. Okay, awesome. Um, I'm assuming Krishna will think the same thing. We'll find out. Secondly, we're going to hear from new TNT champion Wardlow with Arn Anderson. I hope Arn Anderson does most of the talking here. I really don't care. I mean, I hope he's interrupted by his next challenger and it's a good challenger. That's what I really want. I just like make this entertaining to a certain point, right? You guys know I'm not the most gigantic Wardlow fan on the face of the planet. I don't think he's that good in the ring. He has his moments. I mean, let me preface that. He's not that good by AEW standards. This dude would stand out in a lot of places, WWE, but in AEW, his work rate just isn't quite at the same level as some of the guys, and he's got kind of a shtick. This whole Powerbomb Symphony thing, I don't love it. So, he's a bit gimmicky, and he's kind of meh in the ring. Don't love him. But he can put on entertaining matches sometimes if he's got the right partner. And that's what I look for, the optimism, the silver lining here, right? If he gets the right partner, it could be entertaining. I just want even the parts of AEW that I might not love to at least entertain. And Arn Anderson, that guy can be hilarious as heck. So, what I really hope for here, though, is a serious challenger. And I hope Arn Anderson does the majority of the talking. I'd also like to hear a little more about why Arn Anderson has decided to team up with Wardlow. Like, what's going on there? I want to know. What's your rationale? Why are you there? Did I miss something on a Road 2 special that I should have been watching that I didn't see? Was this explained elsewhere in AEW lore and they're just going to assume we've all watched it? Or are they actually going to tell us something? We'll find out. We're also going to hear from Adam Cole, and I got to sneak like this. This is going to go about 2 minutes before Chris Jericho interrupts him. 2 minutes flat or less, and Chris Jericho is going to interrupt him. So I am looking forward to this as well. Adam Cole, Chris Jericho, I like it. Hey, I seem to be one of the only people in the universe that didn't love that segment last week. I mean, honestly, I found the handcuffs and the whole like Outcast hiding under the ring a little bit ridiculous. But hey, like Krishna pointed out on Monday, there was an attention to detail there from Britt that made it that much better. I mean, they really tried with the emotion. And, I want to emphasize, yes, I nitpicked the heck out of that segment because I found it hilarious and it drew me out of it. But the premise behind the segment was really good. Okay. I may have nitpicked it, but I still think the segment was a good segment and did what it needed to do to advance the program. And I probably didn't say enough of that last Wednesday. So you're getting a, you know, if I didn't say enough positive about it, I'm going to say a little bit of positive now. You know what? I'm going to declare it now. Today is another AEW Dynamite day of positivity. I will try to spin everything tonight in a positive light. Okay. Could be a challenge sometimes, but I'm going to do it. So we're going to hear from Adam Cole and it's going to be awesome. So yeah, no, I'm sure it will because like I said, they set it up well last week. So we'll see what happens this week. I think we've got a potential here for an epic Adam Cole promo though, before Jericho interrupts him or even during the Jericho interruption. We shall see. That brings us to our matches. There have been 5 announced that I am aware of at the time of this recording. The first is the Four Pillars Tournament Final. Sammy Guevara taking on Darby Allin. I mean, I have a feeling that this might have a lot of MJF shenanigans in it, which is going to detract from the match. But Sammy Guevara versus Darby Allin, I could watch them any day, right? Both of them are absolutely spectacular in the ring. Absolutely spectacular. So yeah, when I see a match like this coming up on the card, I'm like, this is going to be great. I cannot wait to watch this. I'm going to say this will be the number 3 match on the card. And for something this good, for me to rank number 3, and you know what? I'm going to bet Krishna also ranks this the number 3 match on the card. No doubt, because I can guarantee you the ones we both think are 1 and 2. Well, I think we'll agree those are the 1, 2. We may disagree on the order of them, but I'll get to that. But yeah, this will be the number 3 match on the night, and it's going to rock unless there's too much MJF shenanigans, and that could bring it down a notch. But these two guys, just these two guys, that's all I can say. These two guys. I expect some just insane Daredevil stunts. Please don't die, guys. Don't do anything too crazy. We love your careers. Please keep them. But I expect some real insanity out of these two tonight. Okay. Jade Cargill, champion, is taking on Taya Valkyrie for the TBS championship. I don't care about this match. I don't care about the build to this match. I don't care about either of these women. Taya Valkyrie has done nothing to make me care about her in AEW. I don't know if I just get spoiled way too much by what I know women's wrestling is capable of when I watch Stardom. I don't know if that just taints everything I watch, but I guess it doesn't because I love a lot of the stuff they do with like Jamie Hayter and Britt Baker and like I'm digging Tony Storm and Ruby Soho are so much better now. They've got so many people surrounding them. You've got so many good women's matches on Dark and Dark Elevation, right? It's like they have such a great women's division, but then you get this Jade Cargill stuff. And wait. Bill, you promised you'd be positive today, and you've already almost broken it. Okay, let me step that back a notch. Here's my positive spin on this match. I think Taya Valkyrie is going to win this match, and I think she's going to strip Jade Cargill of the championship, and I no longer have to watch Jade Cargill as the TBS champion. And that's a good thing. So there's my positive spin on this match. I am actually looking forward to that aspect of this match. I think that's going to be good. And you know what, though? I also will say, I hope these two women surprise me in the ring. I think that Taya Valkyrie is a capable wrestler. And I think that she could help carry this to being a, good match. It's still going to be my number 5 on the card, but it could be good. I've corrected myself. Positive spin, people. Positive spin. So That brings us to the next match, Dax Harwood taking on Jeff Jarrett. Now, I guess this is part of the build up towards, FTR taking on, I guess these guys again. Sure, why not? But Dax Harwood versus Jeff Jarrett. I'm not 100% sure as to the reason for this match. I didn't see all of Rampage this week. I don't know if there's anything on that. You know, there was a lot going on in Stardom this weekend, so I missed some AEW. I wonder if Krishna could fill us in on that. I'll ask him when we talk about this match after the show if there was anything I missed about the build to this match, but I just don't see a build. Dax Harwood's great. Jeff Jarrett, Jeff Jarrett has wrestled just like Jeff Jarrett his whole career, which if you stop and think about that for a second, that's astonishingly great because that means he's wrestled a style that he's been able to maintain his entire career. I could go into a bit of a negative thing about that. I'll allow you all to fill in the blanks. I will stay positive. Good job, Jeff Jarrett, for not having to change your wrestling style. The exact same style you wrestled 20 years ago. Good on you. Dax Harwood, he's great. Where do I think this match is going to fall, though? I think it's going to be, I think there's going to be a lot of shenanigans. I think it's going to be a lot of stuff happen. This is going to be maybe the most WWE match on the card this evening. So, whatever. Match number 4. And it's a distant 4, I think, from the top 3. I think the 4 and 5 tonight are just so far removed from the top 3 on this show. It's not even funny. That brings us to the Butcher and the Blade taking on the god of wrestling himself, Mr. Kenny Omega, and the other half of the Golden Brothers tag team, Konosuke Takeshita. So let's see what's going to happen in this one. I can't wait to watch this match. It'll be Omega and Takeshita tagging for the very first time as Don Callis dubbed them the Golden Brothers. They're just missing one, people. They're just missing one versus the Butcher and the Blade. The Butcher and the Blade are great in the ring. Kenny Omega, well, with the Omega level's named after him. So what more can I say? Takeshita is one of the best wrestlers on the face of the planet right now. I actually saw a comment under the announcement of this match on the AEW Instagram that was saying, oh, here we go again with them putting a bunch of people that aren't over on the show, like Konosuke Takeshita, Sammy Guevara. I'm like, wait a second. Guevara is over. He's just over as a bad guy. He may not be like super, super over, but he's over. And Konosuke Takeshita, the fans love this guy. Are you kidding me right now? Not only that, I don't care if he's not perfectly over, like, oh my God, superstar over. He's over enough to be in a match with Kenny Omega. And he is so good in that ring. Just give me Takeshita every single week. I could watch Takeshita matches every week on Dynamite. Not a problem. The guy is phenomenal. I mean, beyond phenomenal. Okay. Go out, watch his body of work, watch his stuff in DDT, right? That match that he had with Hiraguchi earlier or last year, amazing, amazing title match. He's just such a good wrestler. And to put him with Kenny Omega, this is like an insane level tag team. They should, by all accounts, beat the Butcher and the Blade unless the Blackpool Combat Club interferes. This is Krishna's pick for match of the night. It is my pick for number 2 match of the night because I think that there's going to be enough stuff happen in this match to detract from the match enough to make it the number 2 because number 1, my number 1 pick, and I'm going to assume Krishna's number 2, right? And we'll get to it in a moment because I want to return to the other one, is the other match. But in all honesty, though, what do I think is going to happen tonight? Kenny Omega and Konosuke Takeshita. Are we going to see development in this plot? Are we going to see anything to do with the Young Bucks, Hangman, possible Kota Ibushi references, right? I mean, they're starting to hint at that. I got a sneaking feeling he's coming. I mean, we've talked about this for weeks. We've said the whole time, this whole thing is going to be Kenny, Takeshita, and Ibushi. And on the other side, you're going to have the Bucks and Hangman. And it would not surprise me if that's your match for Wembley, those two teams against each other, because holy crap, what a draw, right? Holy crap, what a draw, right? And you put that in there and, whatever. If Punk's back, put him against Jericho. at that show. Just Punk's presence on the Wembley show will bring people. It doesn't have to be against the Elite. And I don't think it's ever going to be quite honest with you. I think the fact that we've got that soft brand split coming up indicates the Elite do not want to get in a ring with him yet. It's going to take time, if ever, right? And that's just fine by me because, you see, like, if you guys remember the Golden Lovers versus the Young Bucks feud in New Japan, those matches were insanely good, right? Now you've got this potential to add to the mix Hangman Adam Page and Konosuke Takeshita. Hello? I mean, just like take my money, please. This is some of the best. This is what I love about AEW, right? Yeah, sometimes the plots don't go the way, you'd like them to. Sometimes the stories have no build to them before they have the match, but my God, the matches, right? The work rate in this company is nuts, and they have so much talent. I mean, the roster is so talented that you miss people constantly, right? So yeah, can you imagine that six-man being at the Wembley show? Because I got a feeling we're getting Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay at Forbidden Door. So yeah, anyway. That does bring us now to the last match, which I think will probably be the main event on the show. Orange Cassidy in his insane AEW International Championship run. This may be the best championship run in AEW, right? So this is something I think Christian and I should have an extended discussion on at some point in the near future. What is the best championship run of any star in AEW? I think that would be a great topic. So I'm gonna toss that out to him, and maybe at some point we'll do a special show on that or something. So I think that would be a really fun discussion. What is the best championship run in any championship? All championships open for discussion. I think that would be a great conversation. But anyway, Orange Cassidy would have a hell of a strong contender for that because tonight he's taking on Bandido, the returning Bandido, who I believe had some visa problems and is now back. I believe that's why he was absent for a little while. And he's taking him on for the AEW International Championship. Orange Cassidy versus Bandido for the championship, and in all likelihood, no interference. Holy crap. Like, this match is going to be absolutely bonkers nuts. All right, so I look forward to seeing a hell of a match between these two guys. I mean, Bandido's the kind of luchador that is polished, that is experienced, and can put on like just insane level matches, understands the storytelling, that kind of stuff, right? And Orange Cassidy, he has got to be one of the most underrated wrestlers on the face of the planet because his name almost never comes up when people start talking about the best wrestlers in the world, and yet the guy carries a shtick that just seems ridiculous, and yet can wrestle so well, storytell so well, sells like nobody's business, understands how to work a story. I mean, he's one of the best wrestlers on the planet, and putting him up against Bandido, one of the best luchadors on the planet. This is going to be insane, and that's why it's going to be my match of the night, because I think when all is said and done, this match is going to wow us all. So, hey, Krishna likes to say, and I agree with him, don't bet against the Elite. And I'm kind of betting against the Elite. But I mean, in all honesty, I went back and forth on this in my mind, and I think the Elite match will be the 1B, the close 1B, the Tam Nakano and Julia versus the Saya Kamatani and Mina Shirakawa and Orange Cassidy and Bandido. So we will find, I had to throw in another Stardom reference. You know that, right? I can hear Krishna right now going, of course. But anyway, that's what I think is going to happen tonight. Those are my predictions. I've tossed out Krishna's with them. I don't think his are going to differ too much from me. I think the only place that we're differing is in the picking of the match of the night. And we shall see. So I'm going to go watch the show. Hopefully Krishna gets out of his little prison there, stops having people do trust falls on him or whatever the hell is going on with his team exercise. I mean, what are they doing? Playing Battleship? I don't know. Anyway, once they're done that, Krishna's going to watch the show too, I hope. Or else you're going to get like an hour of me after the show. And well, I mean, that might be okay. Let's be, oh, that's right. It's positivity night. Let's be positive. So Krishna will be here and we will be discussing this show. But for now, I'm going to go watch it. But it's going to seem like I was never gone and Krishna was never here. And that was Dynamite. And Krishna has joined us. He has finally finished doing trust falls on all of his teammates, which that's I assumed when you said team outing or
Some
team exercise or something. I'm like, well, what do they do with these trust falls?
some of us
Trust.
survived, some of us didn't.
Uh-oh.
Unfortunately, that's the way that team events go, right?
Yep. Uh-oh. Yeah, I know. It seems to happen. Some people survive. Some people get stabbed with screwdrivers. Anyone get stabbed with a screwdriver?
Survival. I know. I bet I think I'm gonna start carrying around a screwdriver. Just in case. You never know. You never know.
Mhm. Exactly. You never know when you're going to need a screwdriver. It's almost as good as a common hammer. But anyway, okay, so Krishna, I selected your match of the night as Jade Cargill versus Taya Valkyrie because like that's what you told me, right?
Well, clearly you're an astrologer, so all the planets align for that one. I could, you know what? When we get to it, you'll understand why it was the match of the night.
Yes, of course. And by the way, I realized I was being a little negative at one point during the pre-show. So tonight is positivity night. I'm going to put a positive spin on everything.
Uh-oh. That's
Yep,
gonna might
that's
might
right.
be tough, but okay.
Positivity. We are as positive as cosmic angels. Well, AEW Dynamite came to us from Sunrise, Florida, from the FLA Live Arena, Florida Live Arena. I mean, it could be either one, right? I mean, FLA is the abbreviation for Florida, but I
Yeah.
think FLA Live Arena sounds cooler. So we're going to go with that. Taz, Tony, and Excalibur, of course, are on commentary. And we open up with the match I predicted would be the final match on the show, Orange Cassidy taking on Bandido for the AEW International Championship. Orange Cassidy comes out. He's going for his 20th straight win. He has 19 successful title defenses, the highest number in the men's roster, they point out, because, the one with the highest defenses in the women's. Oh, yeah, I said to them earlier, you and I should do like a discussion, like a podcast discussion one day of who has the best title reign in AEW history. Long pause.
Yeah, that's actually a really
I
good
know,
topic.
right? I mean, like, who has the most defenses? I mean, there'd be arguments to be made for a lot of people. Do you know who would not get that award? Jade Cargill. But that doesn't mean she hasn't improved greatly as we go to the positive point, right? I mean, she's a better wrestler today than she was months ago, right?
That's true.
Right?
I think so.
See, there's a
She did a
positive
move
side to
I
everything.
never saw her do before, so maybe that's a good thing. She learned to move.
She had, well, Taya Valkyrie learned the move, but we'll get to that,
Well,
dude. Taya Valkyrie executes really well. We will get to that later too. But anyway, Cassidy and Bandido open up, taunting each other back and forth. Cassidy with an amazing mirror of Bandido's handspring maneuver, holstering Bandido's guns in his pockets, stuff like that. Soon after, though, he hits Bandido with an in-pocket Hurricane Rana, but on a tope suicida, Bandido catches him and drops him jaw first onto the barricade and takes control. He applies a lifted arm stretch strap muffler at one arm trap stretch muffler. Say that 20 times real fast at one point. A dropkick sends Cassidy out of the ring where he nails a tope con hero and tosses him into the steps. Back in the ring, Bandido locks on the Romero special and then a camel clutch where he pulls Cassidy's mouth apart. He lifts Cassidy up for a very long delayed vertical suplex. Cassidy tries to fight out a couple times and finally counters with a stunner. But when Cassidy goes to the rotating DDT, Bandido reverses into the vertical suplex. They go back and forth with strikes and kicks until Cassidy pounds Bandido's head repeatedly into the turnbuckle, hits a diving crossbody, followed by a Michinoku driver for two. Bandido is able to get control, though, with a Gamagiri on the apron and then brings him in the ring with a second rope, one arm vertical suplex from the apron. One arm.
very impressive.
Then nails a pop-up cutter for a near fall. He sets Cassidy up for the X marks the spot, but Cassidy fights out. Bandido lets Cassidy jump off the top at him, though, and just catches him and hits a one-arm gorilla press and a frog splash for a big near fall. Cassidy reverses the next move, as my notes go haywire, with the mouse trap for a near fall, and Bandido reverses it into his own pin for two. Bandido then Irish whips Cassidy, but on the rebound, Cassidy nails the orange punch and then the beach break, putting Bandido away for three. And after the match, he puts the shades on Bandido, or at least tries to. It's they have multiple malfunctions with these poor shades going over the match, but yeah, that was the match. What did you think, Krishna?
Great match. Just from start to finish, fun match. Each person, like, well, we know Orange Cassidy. We know what he does. So like his move set doesn't really change. It just, it just, at what points we have to, it happens is what changes. Bandido, because we don't really normally see him a lot on AEW TV. Like we saw him against Jericho, and I think we saw him in another match. I want to say we saw him in another match, maybe not. Um, he's great. Like I like the fact that he really was showing off his strength
Hmm.
in this one. That one-handed suplex, again, credit to Orange Cassidy as well for on
Oh,
that
of
move.
course.
Looked fantastic. It just looked great, right? I mean, but then again, when he did gorilla press him and hold him up with one hand, there's only so much you can do, right? I mean,
Yes.
to help somebody up. So Bandido showing off his strength. Um, uh, his his strikes. I wanted to call this out. When Bandido hits, and I listen, I know it's probably a leg slap or whatever. It sounds like it connects. Like, there were some hits he threw at Orange Cassidy. I'm like, I know he probably smacked his leg, but man, did that sound like it hurts, right? So his strikes were really sticking out to me. He's I guess, and they even mentioned this on the broadcast. Like he is deceptively strong, right? You
Hmm.
look at him and you're like, he looks like a big guy, but not to the extent of some of the things what he does in the ring, like his luchador style mixed in with his strength. It's different, right?
Hmm.
Even his frog splash was pretty awesome. So yeah, love this match. I thought it was fantastic. This match on any night could have gotten number one. Any night could have gotten number one, but I didn't give it number one. I gave it number three. So I'm gonna say this, that because how many matches were there? There were six. Six. So there were six matches
There were
tonight.
five.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Did you not the Wardlow match? Did I miss something here?
Oh yeah, Wardlow had a match, didn't he?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
forgot about
This
the
is
Wardlow match. You
so
are
yeah.
correct, sir. There are
So
in fact 5.25 matches on this card.
exactly. So six matches. The first three could be, if someone told me they liked any of these three in any different order, I'd be like, I get it. I totally understand, right? 1A, 1B, 1C. I'm gonna give this the 1C for my order, because
Hmm.
I just enjoy the crap out of this match. Great opening match. And again, does Orange Cassidy have a bad match? Right? Does, like, we've been saying this about a lot of wrestlers in AEW. Do they have bad matches? A lot of them don't. I mean,
No.
a few of them do, but a lot of them don't. Right? So again, love this match. I gave it the 1C to the 1A and 1B.
Yep.
Absolutely adored it.
I had said originally this was going to be my match of the night,
Mhm. Okay.
and it is not. It is not.
Oh.
It was a really good match. I enjoyed it. There was a lot of good stuff in it. There was a lot of good moves. I love some of the counters they did. Bandido. The one thing I want to say, Bandido knew what he was doing in the style he wrestled in this match, because the
Mhm.
crowd was, I mean, for the most part, largely behind Orange Cassidy.
Yeah.
Cassidy's the big baby face champ. There were a lot of Bandido chants, but
Mhm.
I mean, the guy's over as heck still too.
Oh yeah.
But
Hell's yes.
he wrestled a style that was stronger, not as flashy, right? Like more
Mhm.
hard hitting, which is ideal for the role he had to play. This is a guy who knows what he's doing in the ring, right? He knows, I'm here to play heel, more or less, heel mannerisms to
The
Orange
OC. Yeah.
Cassidy's,
Yeah.
high flying, fun move set, right? And that's what he does. And it was executed brilliantly, right? And he got to show off his strength while doing that.
Yeah.
So it worked really effectively. It just goes to show you the kind of wrestler Bandido is, and like,
It
how
actually is.
mature he is in his wrestling game.
Yeah.
So I really appreciated that about this match. It get about 3 3/4 stars from me. It was solid. It was good stuff. I enjoyed the heck out of it. And you're right. On some nights this could have been match of the night, but tonight it is 1C.
1C.
So
Yeah.
I agree. We then go backstage. We have Renee with Adam Cole, and Renee talks, but basically just says my mic doesn't work because it didn't.
Yeah. It didn't
Um,
work.
but then Adam Cole says, tonight I'm calling out Jericho. I'm going to show him the mistake he made, and if he doesn't come out, I'll find him. And then Orange Cassidy walks up and says to Renee, "Are you here to interview us after our match?" She goes, "No," and tells him a bit about last week and why they're doing the interview. And he goes, "Oh," and he walks off. And Bandido walks up and goes, "Oh," and walks off
I
after
I
Orange
like
Cassidy.
yeah, so first off, Adam Cole's, yeah, sure. Angry. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, It's okay. Again, I know they really want me to care about the storyline, but I just don't really care about it right now. But I see where they're going with it. Adam Cole's gonna be babyface. Sure, Jericho put him against Jericho. Jericho will put him over. When Orange Cassidy and Bandido showed up, I couldn't stop laughing
I
because
know.
I'm with you, Orange Cassidy. Are you here to interview us after our great match we just had?
Yeah.
You should be, right?
I know.
Right? And then she explains it. He's like, oh, and walks away. And then
Yeah.
Bandido with his oh. I was like, listen, these two guys, I'm liking this. I'm liking
Yeah,
this
me too.
combination. It
Yep.
works.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. Give me all
Bandido's
the
showing,
Bandito with Orange Cassidy.
yeah, like Bandido's showing some personality here, and I'm liking it. Right? Like
Yep.
I would love to see like Bandido's interactions with Danhausen and stuff like that because I think it would be absolutely hilarious, right?
Oh
Like
yeah.
the best friends are just a funny group. They're such a funny group, but they can go. Like
Oh
they
yeah.
can
They're a
go in
funny
the
group that
ring.
can wrestle like
Right.
hell, right?
Like I
Like you
mean,
put them in the ring and they go.
yeah, maybe Danhausen excluded, but he's good in his own right. But
Hmm.
he's not known for just his wrestling ability. He's known for who he is, his character, who
Right. Yeah. And
right.
he's more like their manager slash
Yeah,
mascot anyway,
yeah.
right?
And he's injured, so all the best to him. So yeah, like I would love to see Bandito join them because it would be absolutely hilarious. Um, but yeah, no, this segment was kind of like a by the number segment until Orange Cassidy came in,
Yes.
right? And then I'm like, wow, that's different. I like this, right? So
Exactly.
I really did enjoy it when
Yep.
everything was concluded at the
I
end.
know. After all, of all the times we see Renee tonight, and she never
I know,
interviews poor Orange Cassidy and Bandito after their great match. She interviews like everybody else, but she never interviews
except
Orange
them.
Cassidy.
Yeah,
What's with the bias, AEW and
yeah,
Renee?
yeah.
Well, Renee is then that goes to commercial, comes back, and guess what? Renee's in the back again, this time with not Orange Cassidy, but Jungle Boy and Darby Allin, because Darby requested the time. Apparently, walking up to Renee and going, "Are you here to interview us about a great match?" is not a
It's
request for
not the way to do
time.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So apparently, Darby though requested the time. Darby says to Jungle Boy because apparently he needed Renee to stand there as a mediator between their conversation they could have had as two adults in a back room. Darby says, "We took it too far last week. I'm here to kill what's between us. How your match with Sammy ended was complete crap. I'm sorry I didn't have your back. I hope you have mine tonight." And Jack says, "We won't be friends, but we did go too far. I wish it was us out there tonight, but it's not. So good luck." And Darby says, "Yeah, I would have beat you." Jack goes, "No." Darby says, "See you out there."
Yeah. I get it. I get it. Like, I mean, we all know what's happening. We all know where it's going, and it gets confirmed later on in the night. But like, um, you know what? Give these guys time. Give them time. Like Darby. See, the thing is, Darby is Darby, right? So we all know what we're getting from Darby, and it works. It works for his character. Jungle Boy is the one I'm still trying to get them to kind of bring out of his shell, and he's getting better, but sometimes when Jungle Boy speaks, it sounds as if he's fully scripted, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
we know who Sammy is, we know who Darby is, we know who MGF is, right? But it's the Jungle Boy who I really want to have like just personality that oozes out of him that I don't get, and I really want. And listen, I know it's gonna take practice. This guy has all the skills in the world in the ring, right? If he can get on the mic like Darby and Sammy and I'm not even saying to the level of MJF, but MJF, look, AEW has four. Like these guys are the future, right?
Right.
So yeah, listen, I'm not gonna be say anything negative about the promo. It did what it had to do. I just want more of it because I want to see more Jungle Boy and get him to craft who he actually is out there, right? So
Right.
that's my only thought on it.
Well, it is positivity night, so I'm going to tell you this was great. Just fine. It was good stuff. Jungle Boy, you'll get there. I know
You'll
you're
get
a
there
little introverted when it comes to the mic,
a little
but
bit.
I stand with you as a fellow introvert. Someday you will be comfortable talking into a mic completely.
Yeah.
But keep
Yeah.
on bringing those chairs, Jungle Boy. Keep on bringing the chairs. Then we get Dax Harwood taking on Jeff Jarrett. And I am grateful this match happened because it forces me to think of positive spins on everything. And so that's a good thing, right? Because the officials first prevent Jarrett's cronies from coming to ringside. Jarrett then gets the advantage early with some grappling, hip toss, body slam. Harwood comes back with a snap suplex and a leg drop. They battle on the turnbuckle, but Jarrett chops him off. He works over Harwood for a while, including locking a sleeper on him for a fair amount of time. Dax comes back and they exchange strikes until Jarrett hits a knee breaker, but they block each other's submissions. Dax hits the diving headbutt for 2. Jarrett goes for the stroke, but Harwood reverses into a backslide and then hits the pile driver for a near fall. Jarrett tries to leave, but Harwood catches him. He goes for a shotgun drop kick, but Harwood dodges. Jarrett dodges. Harwood fights off the figure 4, but gets catapulted into the turnbuckle. Jarrett rolls him up for 2. Harwood then counters the figure 4 into a roll up of his own for 2. Harwood hits a short arm lariat. Dutt then interferes, helping Jarrett with a lateral press, but Jarrett only can get a 2 count. Then Harwood runs around after Dutt because that's the kind of guy Harwood is. There's a distraction. I'm going after him. And he walks into the stroke for 3.
Yeah, this match got my number 4, so the bottom 3. Got my number 4 spot because I thought about this match and I was like, okay, so Dax Harwood is half of the tag champions because again, as I said, AEW needs to fix their tag division, and apparently, who knows what they're doing right now. So my thought was, hey, Jarrett's gonna lose this match because like, what's the point of Jeff Jarrett winning this match? Why would he beat Dax Harwood? This makes no sense. But then it happened, and I'm like, okay, the match itself, I'm gonna say it wasn't terrible, but it wasn't great. It was just mid, right? It's one of those matches like it was slow, but it's okay if it's slow. Like I mean, hey, listen, for 55 years old, Jeff Jarrett looks great. He looks great. Like that's all I can say, right? He looks great. He's moving well in the ring. He didn't do anything terribly wrong because what I saw Jeff Jarrett wrestle a Jeff Jarrett match. This is how he's wrestled all his career. So I'm like, kudos to you, man. Like you can still do it. But this didn't add anything. Like this didn't carry any storylines. This didn't do anything. Right. And I'm like, what's the purpose of this match? Right. So I'm like, when this match was finished, I was like, okay, sure. Thanks for wasting my time again when we keep talking about these other matches that we have on Elevation, on Dark, on Rampage that could be on Dynamite. You've now wasted my time with this match, right? And I'm like, whatever.
Yeah, this is what I call they worked hard enough to get 3 stars, 3-star match.
Yeah.
So there you
Yeah.
go. There you go. There's the positive spin. They still got 3 stars. Way to go, guys. Gold stars. Yeah, this match was slow.
Yeah.
But like you said, slow isn't always bad. Sometimes you can have
No.
slow where it's like a real pick apart, methodical
Mhm.
slow. This was just Jeff Jarrett slow. You
That's
know,
it.
like I even said it in the pre-show, same thing you just said, right? Jeff Jarrett has wrestled the same style for 20 years, which is why he hasn't had to change his style
Yep.
because that's his style. And hey, it has kept him healthy and active
Mhm.
and being able to wrestle for 20 years. And there's not a lot of guys that can say that.
That's
Right.
right.
So kudos to him. Good job. You have entertained people in one way or another, in some method or another, for 20 years. That's actually pretty cool. There's my
That is good.
positive
That's
spin.
pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah, but this match, you're not wrong. Yeah, there should have been something else. Even eliminate this match and give the main event another 10 minutes.
Oh my god. Yeah. Yeah. You
Like
can imagine that,
seriously,
eh?
people. Give the main
Um,
event longer than 10
10
minutes on the
minutes.
show at the end of the show.
Yeah. Yeah. And you'd think that, hey, why not put Jay Lethal versus Dax Harwood?
Sure.
Jay Lethal would have put on a great show, right? But hey,
Yep.
whatever. Tony Khan, this is your booking.
Yep. And do we need to
Sure.
take a moment to go, what the with the tag titles?
That was my point. I'm like,
Exactly.
so what does this help? Like,
Mhm.
why was this match even booked?
Where are we going with the tag titles? Let's
I
take a
don't
second.
know.
Where are we going with these tag titles? So Dax Harwood and so FTR, they take them off. They take them off well, not the acclaim. They take them off the Guns after the Guns took them off the acclaim. Okay, fine. The Guns are now nowhere to be seen, thank God. The acclaim not on this show, that's fine by me. I know there's fans out there clamoring for them, but guys, sometimes absence makes the heart grow fonder, right? So there's your positive spin on that. But what the hell are they doing with these tag titles?
No.
I mean, where are the tag teams going? we want to go after these belts. Where's the number one contenders? Where's the list of contenders? Where are the tag teams? Like this annoys me because like Danielson brought up a great point during his commentary. I don't know if this was during the part where it was on commercial or not, but he said, what have Kenny and the Bucks done since they came back? Did you hear that part of the commentary?
No, I didn't hear that.
Oh, okay.
No.
That must have been during the commercial break. Danielson goes, what have Kenny and the Bucks actually done since they came back? Right? Has Kenny actually, I mean, it proves he's an amateur. Has he gone after the world championship? Has he
That's
gone
true.
after MJF? Says, no, he hasn't. He goes, have the Bucks gone after the tag titles? No, they haven't. And they're like, well, they went after the shoes. Because yeah, but they lost those. So why aren't they going after titles? And I'm like, Danielson, that is the best point of it. Why aren't the elite going after titles? So anyway, this tag division needs a shot in the arm, people. But no, they let the hybrid 2 go. But anyway, Tony Khan has his announcement, and I would like to point out he never called this a big announcement, so we knew we were just getting an announcement. I like that. There was no hype.
Yeah, agreed.
So Tony, you get another positive stamp. Way to go, Tony. You did not overhype us for this announcement. And we went, hey, here's the announcement. So Tony's in the back and he says the opening ceremonies for the Owen Hart Cup will be at Double or Nothing. And then the matches will be held in Canada. Now, I'm not sure if he meant every match will be held in Canada or that there will be matches held in Canada. But
no. I think it is, because if you look at it this way, the tournament begins at Forbidden Door and ends in Calgary.
Okay, so it's that whole time they're doing that tour then across Canada. Okay.
Across Canada.
So, okay, there you go. So the whole thing's going to be held in Canada, including Forbidden Door. The finals will be held in Calgary, Alberta, Canada on July the 15th. That was the announcement.
Yeah, great announcement. I mean, you know what? Not overhyped. Great announcement for Canadian fans. Like, great announcement about the Owen Hart tournament. Overall, just a legitimately just great announcement, like and a nice way to do it. Like, honestly, Tony, you don't actually even need to say I have an announcement or I have, just come out like you did and announce it. You don't have to make a big scene about it. But yeah, I thought this was good. I thought, this is something like AEW, if you have the rights to Owen Hart's stuff, like, and his family's allowing you to do this, then do it. Like don't just do it once and forget about it. Like, do it. So I'm hoping the tournament is I'm not saying the tournament was bad last time. I'm saying, like, kind of knew who was gonna win it. So I kind of hope, like, there are some, like, random people in this, like maybe some people from, like, I'm hoping at obviously at Forbidden Door there are gonna be some New Japan wrestlers competing for the Owen Hart tournament, right? Because they specifically called out the fact that Owen Hart wrestled in New Japan.
Yep.
And had the light heavyweight title. Is that what he had? Something like that?
The junior heavyweight.
Yeah. So that's great. That's great. I'm happy that they brought that fact up. I didn't actually know that. So, I'm glad that they're having a tournament. I'm glad they're starting it at Forbidden Door. Again, we're going to be there. So, it's going to be great.
Yeah, no, it will be. And there's a certain Canadian who is a fairly damn good wrestler right now in New Japan who hasn't yet debuted in AEW, who would make a pretty damn good addition to that tournament.
I'm literally trying to figure out who you're talking about right
El
now.
Phantasmo.
Oh, I keep forgetting he's Canadian.
He's Canadian.
ELP. Yo, I love ELP one. That'd be amazing.
Right? he's so amazing. The guy is the best.
Good.
Seriously. Yep. So there you go. That's the announcement. We have the Owen Hart Cup, and I had said earlier it was either going to be the Owen Hart Cup or the Saturday show, and it was the Owen Hart Cup. So there we go.
Too early to announce Saturday.
Yeah, that's what I said too. It was like we're 2 months too early. So cool beans. Then we get Wardlow versus. Did you catch the guy's name?
No, I did not.
Rewound it twice trying to see if they announced him or not.
No, they didn't. They did not announce him, and that's why I was like, he's legit a jobber. Like, you didn't even say his name.
I know, so it's just Wardlow versus Jobber.
I that's what I had in my notes. Wardlow versus Jobber.
Yep. Powerbomb Symphony over. Okay, that was the match. Okay.
Yeah, this got my number 6 spot.
Yeah, you and me both. I mean, this isn't even a match.
No, it's not. And I'm sorry, again, when Hobbs had the belts,
Mhm.
was Hobb facing off against jobbers? Because I'm
No.
pretty sure Hobb faced off against Ray Phoenix. He
Mhm.
then faced off against
Penta.
Penta, and then someone else. Why are we back to this Wardlow versus jobbers thing?
Well, I'm going to tell you. You ready for my positive spin on this? When
Please
I was
try
a
to give me a
kid,
positive spin on
yep, okay,
this.
no problem. When I was a kid, I used to watch something called WWF Superstars on Saturday morning, and I got to
Hmm.
see all the big wrestlers, the big names, and they would just squash random jobbers. That was the whole show, but we loved it because that's all we got to see every week, and the big names only fought big names on like pay-per-views or Saturday night's main event. So I'm going to give them kudos for giving me the nostalgia of 1980s WWF while I was watching Wardlow's match. I'm like, this is just like, when the big boss man would come out, smash a guy down, and put him in cuffs and beat him up at ringside with his nightstick or something, right? It was pretty great. It was pretty great for that
Terrible match.
because this
Terrible
was
match.
exactly like 1980s WWF superstars.
Saturday superstar show.
Yes.
Not their main show they may have had, or I guess
No,
they
that
didn't
was
have a
the
main
main
show.
show back then because
Yeah,
they
yeah,
honestly did not do anything except that. They would have the
yeah,
occasional Saturday night's main event, but your weekly television was just squash matches from start
yeah.
to finish. And you'd have like a minor main event maybe on the show, but it was largely just squash match, squash match. Well, I can't even say that 20 times real fast. Lots of squash matches. You just got to
Yeah,
see the superstars. That was the whole point of it.
fair.
Anyway, Arn Anderson gets a mic. Wardlow's AEW's Dynasty. does does that mean he's a Carrington, or am I getting all of my old shows mixed up? Anyway, and Wardlow, you need to agree on some things. You need to get rough sometimes, and he lists off a bunch of ways to get rough. Then Christian's music gets, and positive point number two, I love Christian's music. It's great, and I was very grateful that he interrupted Arn Anderson. Thank you,
Same.
Christian. Positivity. And he comes out with Luchasaurus. They play mind games by getting up on the apron and hopping off the apron, and then they leave.
Yeah,
That was
that
it.
was it. I mean, the best part of this entire thing was Christian coming out because we got to hear his music.
Yep.
And then, I was thinking about as I watched Luchasaurus, I really like the way he has he acts and the way his mannerisms are
Mm-hmm.
because he looks a little crazy right now,
Yes.
right? And I'm like, and just the way he like looks at I'm like, oh my god, he looks like he's a killer in there. So I'm enjoying that. I kind of just wanted them to beat down Wardlow and just walk out, but hey, I don't understand the staring match. What is this? Is it like the WrestleMania sign and everyone just stares and points and like I don't understand what this is. But anyways, I guess we're gonna get Wardlow versus Luchasaurus. I hope
Yep.
Luchasaurus wins.
Do you know what I really wish they do with Luchasaurus's character though? Is have him be like smart PhD Lucha, or I have a master's degree Luchasaurus, but bad guy, like Hannibal Lecter.
I was kind
Like
of thinking
just
more like Damien Sandow. Just
well, no, because that would be ridiculous, right? I don't want him ridiculous. I want him like you're right, because he looked like a crazed killer,
you look
right?
crazy, yeah.
So that's what I mean. Have him talk really intelligently to guys about destroying them. It would be really cool and
That's
sinister.
true. That's
But
true.
apparently they've given him Christian to talk, and Christian's a very good talker, so
Yeah.
so that's
And
fine.
yet he hasn't talked yet.
Yeah, I know that's kind of annoying. Right. On a positive note, like I said, sometimes absence makes the heart grow fonder. So, they're just building us up for that big Christian promo that we're dying to hear.
Fair.
Right? Right?
Fair enough. Fair
Okay.
enough.
Oh, why do I make these promises? Renee is in the back with Sammy this time because everyone gets time but Orange Cassidy. And Renee says, how do you feel, Sammy? And MJF interrupts. They kiss. MJF says, people are saying I'm a gutless coward by avoiding a four-way with a tournament. Sammy says, and people think me being paid off to lay down is ruining the sanctity of the sport. And they both look at the camera. We don't care. Sammy says, I'm going to beat Darby, and I got Max a matching vest. And he gives Max his vest for himself, and Max says, I got you something, a Burberry scarf, and they hug.
I laughed through this promo because it was absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. You know, one thing I thought about was the fact that, Sammy Guevara, as much as people hate him and as much as we love him because he is a god, right? Like, I mean, he's the Spanish god. Um, he really has a personality that meshes with everyone. I look at like when he's with Jericho, he's with Garcia, he's with MJF, and it just oddly works every single time,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I'm like, that's pretty cool because sometimes you see the people get thrown together and you're like, I don't know if this would work, but it's just him and his personality. They just work so well. Um, yeah, I like this promo because it's just stupid. I like the fact that obviously these two are heels. They don't this makes sense. They don't care. Like, what do they care? Like, we all know Sammy's gonna turn his back on MJ. We know everything that's coming already, but it's fun to see the build up to it, right? Watch these guys have fun and stuff like that. So yeah, I didn't have a problem with this promo. I thought it was fine.
Yeah, it was fine. It was fine. I don't think I quite enjoyed it as much as you did, but I did enjoy it. Um, do you know there is one thing Sammy's personality does not mesh well with?
What is
Signs,
it?
big white placard signs that he then holds up during commercial breaks.
Oh
His
my god.
personality does
No,
not
he needs to
mesh
stop
well with
that.
those. Oh, Sammy, that was not. And there's my positive spin. He's come a long way
He
since
has.
holding
He really
placards
has.
during commercial breaks. Then we go backstage to RJ City, who is also not interviewing Orange Cassidy. And RJ City says, there is hustle and bustle backstage. Kenny's teaming with Takeshita. And then the Blackpool Combat Club shows up, beats him up. Mox gets a mic and says, big night for us. We have some scars to leave on Dynamite tonight.
Yeah. Um, I love RJ City. He's friggin' hilarious. Poor guy gets knocked out by Moxley and then it's just stomped by Yuta. Yeah, this was fun. This was fun.
Yep.
I like it.
Yeah, it was fine. Then we get Sammy Guevara taking on Darby Allin in the Four Pillars Tournament Finals. MJF goes on commentary and eats kosher pickles. Taz touched every pickle. Sammy and Darby grapple to start and then start a high speed exchange, ending when Darby hits an Escalera arm drag. Sammy gets the better of the next exchange, though, with a drop kick. They go back and forth again with Matt grappling until Darby gets the Scorpion Deathlock on Sammy until Sammy reaches the ropes. Sammy then pokes Darby's eye and hits a high knee, sending Darby to the floor, where Sammy tosses him into the ring post. MJF has a man crush on Sammy and on the pickles. Soon, Darby managed to come back, choking Sammy on the ropes, but Sammy blocks the German to the floor and takes Sammy off the apron with a knee, followed up with a moonsault to the floor, and then smashing him into the guardrail. Back in the ring, Sammy puts on the Boston Crab, but Darby reaches the ropes, and then Sammy nails a frog splash for two. MJF thinks anyone on Fight TV sucks, FYI. Sammy goes for a vertical, but Darby reverses into a neckbreaker. Sammy rolls to the floor, and Darby goes for the tope suicida, but Sammy catches him with a cutter on the floor and then pulls out a table. And once again, the crowd chants for tables after the table has been pulled out. Shouldn't they chant, "We have tables"? Anyway,
Sure.
Darby blocks Sammy, beats him down, putting him on the table. He goes to the top, but Ty Mello shows up, distracting Darby, allowing Sammy to hit a top rope Spanish fly, but Darby grabs the rope on the pin. Sammy sets him up on the table outside, and Sammy hits a 630 senton on Darby through the table from the top rope. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Sammy rolls back in the ring looking for the count out, but Darby manages to roll in at 9, which frustrates the hell out of MJF, and MJF goes to ringside. So Darby dodges the corner avalanche, hits a shotgun drop kick. He goes to the top for the coffin drop that Krishna had been practicing with his teammates all day, but Ty distracts the ref, and MJF hands Darby the skateboard, and Sammy pulls an Eddie Guerrero, meaning he fakes getting hit, getting Darby DQ'd. And MJF then clocks Darby. They both beat on him till Jungle Boy comes out with the chair. They bail as Tony says he's talking to Tony. I'll get to that in a moment.
Tony's like, I'm talking to myself. No. But yeah, no, this match is amazing. Like, these guys are so good. Like, that 620,
630.
640, whatever. 630. Holy crap. Like, Sammy
360 times.
Guevara.
No, 620. You're right. 620. 360 times 2. 620. That would be 720.
720.
So 720 minus 90. I guess. Oh yeah, because you go around one. Oh, yeah, no, it is 6:30. It is 6:30 because
Yeah,
it's 7:20 minus 90 because it's
yeah,
an entire 360 and most of another one, like three
insane.
quarters of another one, right?
Yeah,
So yeah, it's 6:20.
yeah. Um, insane, absolutely insane. I thought these guys,
6:30.
if I had to say, well, it was
Bill is
something in the six
struggling with
range.
math. 6:30.
Yeah. Um, I love this match. I thought it was fantastic. Like again, 1A, 1B. I don't even know. I'm going back and forth on these two. So I'm putting it in 1B for and yeah, Sammy Guevara, you're so freaking awesome. Like you are on the elite level. I keep saying this every time. This kid is the real deal. We've seen him live. The stuff he's doing in the ring now, he does normally, right? Like it's nothing for this guy, right? So yeah, Sammy, every time you wrestle, man, like I just blow me away. Like that, like again, and with Darby, we knew what we were gonna get as well. So great match. Um, funny ending, I think, to that with the whole disqual. Again, I listen. You don't always like. I know that people don't like DQs and stuff like that, but sometimes it's fun to watch some of these things play out because you know where it's going. You know we're headed towards four pillars, but when we'll get to that. But yeah, this match was fantastic. Like this match was like Sammy Guevara is just showing why he should be a champion. He's just showing it every single time he steps on that mat, right? So yeah, I thoroughly love this match.
Yep. No, you're absolutely. Both these guys are amazing. Like they're just
Yeah.
both amazing, amazing wrestlers. Like the amount of talent in that ring when those two guys are going at it, it's just crazy. They're both
Yeah.
just so good. And you're right, Sammy Guevara is on like another level. Like
Yeah.
he's so good. Got to be top 10 in AEW. Got
Easy.
to be.
Easy. Yeah.
So there you go. That was it. It was a solid match. I didn't love the finish,
Yeah. I know.
but it is what it is. It furthers the storyline. I get why they're doing it, right? I mean, it's a little bit better than say a tag team title match where the person gets the tag titles on a count out by continuously kicking their opponents back out of the ring. Even though the ref probably should have started the count again, but hey, I speak, of course, of the tag title finish at Grand Queendom, but because of course I need to get in at least 37 Stardom references a night. So anyway, after this, MJF is now bragging at the top of the round. They're in the match now at Double or Nothing. The other two can go back to the undercard. Everyone sucks. Then Tony Schiavone says, "Hold on, I got a message from Tony Khan. Sammy is in the match," and they're all like, "Yay!" But next week there will be a tag match. It'll be Jack Perry and Darby Allin taking on Sammy Guevara and MJF. If Sammy and MJF win, matches as advertised. Sammy versus MJF. Otherwise, it'll be a Pillars four-way match, and the heels are pissed, especially MJF. Right?
Yeah.
They go storming off. We come back from commercial. Renee's trying to talk to MJF and Sammy in the back, but MJF is pissed. He goes, "Tony Khan plays games with him. You think you're going to keep me around treating me like this?" Sammy then follows him to the limo. MJF won't let him in, telling him the empty car is full, and Tony offers the booth some pickles.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we knew this was coming, so yeah, that next week's match is probably going to be the match of the week, right? So like, because again, four of those guys in our sorry, not hey, what am I saying? Potentially that tag match could be the match of the night, right? So yeah, it's gonna be great. We knew this was coming. Great. Like, I mean, I don't know what else to say.
Right. No, it was fine.
Yeah.
The only thing I and I hesitate to be negative because I'm going to say this segment was 85% good. And then there was the 15% that was MJF going, "You think you're going to keep me around doing this?
Sure.
Please don't.
Go
Don't
ahead.
go that
Yeah.
direction. Don't go that direction. Stay away from that direction, MJF. That's a bad path to go down with your promos. Just come back to what you've been doing recently and just stay in that zone. Okay? Okay? Okay. Thanks, MJF. Thanks. No bidding wars. Pickles.
Who
Adam Cole
cares?
comes out. Adam Cole is doing none of his mannerisms, which I really appreciated. He just walks straight to the ring. He's pissed and pacing because, believe me, I would have gotten a shotgun if someone beat my wife in front of me. Jericho, I know you can hear me. You SOB. It's one thing to run your mouth or jump me, but you handcuffed me and made me watch a beating on Brit. That's unforgivable. You crossed a line that you can't come back from. I'm going to hurt you and hurt you bad. Bring your ass to the ring and I'm going to smash your face. Of course, nothing happens. And he goes, have it your way. I'll come find you. Jericho's music hits. And of course, he's on the Jumbotron. You want me to come to that ring right now and fight you? Are you kidding me? I don't want to be anywhere near a man like you, a man who allowed his wife to be beaten in front of his eyes, just sitting there a foot away. You're a coward. I'm not going near you, but my boys will. And of course, the JAS comes out and beats him down because it's 4-on-1. So Orange Cassidy and Bandido, deciding they're not getting any interview time, come out to make the save. But they get beaten down too because it's now 4-on-3. But then music hits that I'm not familiar with, and Roderick Strong comes out and he lays them all out. And then Cole and Strong, for those of you who don't know, Roderick Strong was on NXT with Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish as part of the Undisputed Era.
Yeah.
So, and he's also a longtime Ring of Honor wrestler.
Yeah. This was good. I mean, I'm not as big as a Roderick Strong fan as you, if you are or not, but like I just haven't seen him wrestle that much. So really can't, I'm gonna, hold my judgment until I actually see more of him. He looked good. He looked good when he came in for the save. It just wasn't, it's like anticlimactic because, you see the music. Sorry, you see the Jumbotron and you're like, what music? I'm like, is Paige coming out? What is this, right? Or Soraya, sorry. And then when I saw his name, I'm like, oh yeah, Roderick Strong. That's right. He had left WWE recently or some contract, whatever. So I'm like, okay, that makes sense. He signed with AEW. He comes out, he clears the ring. He looked good when he was clearing the ring. I'll have to give him credit for that. And I guess him and Adam Cole, like I'm not gonna lie, I thought Kyle O'Reilly was coming out, to be honest with you, and I kind of wanted Kyle O'Reilly back as soon as possible. So yeah, this was good. I mean, Adam Cole's forming his own little clique, I should say. That though
with
it's
Bandido
really
and Orange Cassidy.
But Bandido and Orange Cassidy, that's a little odd with Bandido and Orange Cassidy.
I'm not so sure they're staying with. They kind of gave him looks as they were leaving, right?
Yeah.
Like they weren't quite sure what was, but they did still come out and save him.
It was actually funny. Like when Orange Cassidy came out, I'm like, hey, Bandido's with them. What the heck?
I know. I love Orange Cassidy with Bandido. That's pretty great. But yeah, no, I was like, oh, Roderick Strong. You see, okay, here's my assessment of Roderick Strong. Okay. Now, one, he was on NXT. So, it's in the WWE arena. And look, that's where I got a lot of my impression of Tony Storm, too. Don't forget, we know how I felt about Tony Storm. And I've seen a lot of these wrestlers come here and then they get to wrestle their style and they're great. Roderick Strong can go in the ring. He's like, I would say if I had to like compare him to a wrestling style, I'd say he's kind of like an Ethan Page. Okay. He's good. And he's strong and he can do a lot of suplexes and he's got a good solid move set. The one thing he struggled with a lot in NXT was character. Right. Like he kind of was personality wise kind of dry as toast. Kind of like, a little bit like Jungle Boy pre finding a few of his promos. Just he can talk, but you're kind of like, am I interested in what he's saying? I'm not totally sure, right? And for a long time, his main thing was just he's a dad. That was it. He's a dad. But I wonder though what he's going to be like now that the handcuffs are off, and he can do what he wants in AEW. Like I've never heard him cut a promo outside of the NXT scripting.
That's true.
Right. I mean, I was never a big enough ROH fan to be watching Roderick Strong matches. I mean, if I did see him in a match, it was just he was in a match that didn't have a promo associated with it. And like I said, he's a good wrestler. He's enjoyable to watch. You can tell he's strong. He does Roderick Strong, I guess. But anyway, he does a lot of like suplexes and things like that. And, he's a bigger guy. So, he'll be fine with Adam Cole. I keep dividing the roster up in my head between ROH, Dynamite, and if there's this new Collision show, like where do I want guys to go, right? Like if you're gonna split the brand up, which shows do I want people on? And well, Wednesdays, I don't think that's Roderick Strong's show. So, but it is Orange Cassidy and Bandido's show.
But Roderick Strong is going to be with Adam Cole, so does that mean Adam Cole's going to Collision? I mean, CM Punk did insult everyone, but then said Adam Cole was one of the nicest guys he's ever met.
Right. And I'm okay with that. Right. I
Yeah,
like Adam Cole, but if I have to take Bandido or Adam Cole, I'm taking
Bandito all the
Bandido.
way.
I'm
Yeah,
sorry, Adam
yeah,
Cole. I like you a lot, and I know you're
yeah.
way more over than Bandido. But I want Bandido.
But I want Bandito. Agreed.
Exactly.
I think we can agree on that one.
Yes. Then we get QTV. I'm also happy keeping QTV on the Wednesday show. I'm just saying. QTV. QT Marshall says, it's been a rough couple weeks, talks about some things that have made it rough. Then Hobbs barges in, shoves QT against the wall. QT tells Hobbs after he's being choked, you'll be a champion again. And Hobbs just says, fix this. And then QT says to the rest of QT TV, okay, guys, let's go to plan B. That was it.
Yeah, that was interesting. Like, I'm curious to find out what's happening. Um, Hobbs is a better character than Wardlow, so I don't know. What's happening. So yeah, I'm interested. I want to see what's gonna happen with this.
Mm-hmm. Then we get in the death spot the women's match. Jade Cargill, champion, taking on Taya Valkyrie for the the TBS Women's Championship that Jade Cargill has now held for I don't know how many days. But if we were ever to compare her title run with Orange Cassidy's, we would have a hell of a discussion. But
Mm-hmm.
anyway, the Taya will be DQ'd if she uses the road to Valhalla. The actual road to Valhalla would mean she's killed someone.
Yeah.
So that's probably a good thing. They brawl. Taya gets the advantage early, beating on Jade. She goes for the road to Valhalla because, why not try to get DQ'd right out of the gate? But Jade reverses and beats her into the corner. Taya sends her over the apron to the floor, but she takes Taya's leg out from under her on the apron and hits a hanging reverse DDT on the floor before throwing Taya into the guardrail and beats her around the ring. Back in the ring, she hits a vertical suplex for 2. She hits a body slam for 2, but Taya comes back with a knee and 3 clubbing blows, followed by a modified Blue Thunder for 2. They fight on the turnbuckle. Jade hits a superplex. She then hits a Canadian Destroyer for 2. She gets Taya up for Jaded, but Taya counters and shoves Jade to the mat and does a double stomp for 2. Taya then sets up for the road to Valhalla again because, apparently she's just fixated on using her finisher when she'll get DQ'd, but thinks better of it. Jade rolls her up for 3, grabbing the trunks for leverage. And Taya goes nuts and almost gives Aubrey the road to Valhalla.
Yeah, another match that tonight I was like, what was the purpose of this? Like, so match number 5 out of 6. Because Wardlow's match wasn't really a match. So like this match wasn't good. I mean, it was kind of boring because it's the same thing over and over again. Maybe a couple good spots here and there. They they didn't seem like they had much chemistry, both of these two ladies here. But again, I know Taya's still pretty new to AEW and Jade's pretty new to wrestling. But I mean, like, um, yeah, it. I don't understand the purpose of this match. So Taya Valkyrie, your new acquisition, has won probably just a couple of matches against a couple people, and then immediately loses to Jade. So Jade is never going to lose this belt, is what I'm understanding. Like now, I didn't think she was going to lose it on a regular Dynamite, but who's like at this point, if Taya ends up beating her now, you're like, okay, well, if whatever type of like magic you may have had with her taking the belt off of Jade is gone because no one cares, right? Like, no one cares right now. So yeah, this match is number 5. I just yeah.
Needs to strip this belt off her at Forbidden Door. Shuri. Shuri would make her look like she's like what is left on the mat.
I wouldn't mind if someone stripping her of the belt at Forbidden Door. Actually, I would like that very
Oh,
much, right?
and the mess that Shuri would leave in the ring, it would just be like, okay, so that's how you wrestle. Good job. But hey, my positive spin on this match, because you're right. By and large, this 2.5-star match, maybe 2 stars, was pretty damn mid or less. It was
Yeah.
like, meh. There was some clubbing blows. There was some shots. It was like just 2 people fighting. I'm like, oh my God. Like I said during the pre-show, I could be getting very biased here because I watch a lot of Stardom, and there is no better women's wrestling on the whole planet. So everything gets compared to that in my mind, especially when it comes to women wrestling. This wouldn't even make the pre-show. Okay. But here's my positive spin. If you're out there and you're wondering to yourself, how do you do a Canadian destroyer? And you're like, what is the role of the other person getting destroyered in the Canadian destroyer? Well, Taya Valkyrie gives you a perfect example of exactly what the bottom part of a Canadian destroyer person does, which is essentially most of the move if you watch. She's the one that springs off, blah, blah, blah. And you actually see it because it looks like Taya does a Canadian destroyer to herself.
To herself, yeah.
Yeah, because Jade does almost nothing in this move. Jade, you got to learn how to execute. If you're going to do the move, the person can't carry you through it when it's that obvious. It was just like, oh, every other Canadian destroyer you see, mostly, right? You see, it looks like the person doing the move executes the move. This one, it's like, oh man, you just got carried through that move, something awful.
Yeah.
Right. It was so obvious. Right. It's like, but like I said, positive spin. This was a great educational video for all you budding young wrestlers out there who would like to learn how to do a Canadian destroyer. Just watch Taya Valkyrie. That's how you bottom a Canadian destroyer. And she almost missed the final rotation. So you also have to watch for that, but I think that may have been Jade's fault. So, Taya Valkyrie is not a bad wrestler. She knows how to go. It's just not a style that I particularly appreciate.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Right.
I agree.
Yeah. Anyway, and you're right. Match 5 of 6, only because the Wardlow match was a complete and utter jobber match that got about a quarter of a star. So yeah. Why did Taya try to attack the referee? I mean, why Aubrey? Why anyway? Giving people from Victoria a bad name. Dr. Britt Baker is in the back with Jamie Hayter, and Britt says, you outcasts, you forgot what Jamie and I are capable of. And Jamie says, you did well last week. You sent me to the hospital, then you take out Britt. Wait to explain to us what happened. That's good. And you had to use weapons, right? But you've declared war. This is far from over. And the only way it will be over is if you send us to the morgue. All right. It's to the death.
To death, yeah. Okay, sure. Yeah, okay. I guess. Whatever. I was like, sure, this is good. You're continuing the storyline, which
yeah, it is pretty paint by
really,
numbers.
yeah,
to the death.
Yeah, which is okay. I mean, whatever. Like same thing happening day in, day out. I don't know when this feud's gonna end, kind of thing. So yeah, I was like,
I was
whatever.
thinking about this, right? So I was thinking after watching Grand Queen, I've been watching the Cinderella tournament finals on the weekend, and I was talking to you about this on Monday about the emotion that's in Stardom, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I realized what it is. The women in Stardom will express all of their emotions. Women in AEW, and I think North American wrestling women in general, feel like they have to try to act like tough dudes.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Yeah. You don't get a lot of that sort of like just more honest emotion. Right? Like you don't get a lot of that. You don't get, I don't think you get the guys, they can get like just viscerally angry. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And you can get that from the women too. But what you don't get is a lot of like, upset or sorrow or passion or, all kinds of emotions that give you a whole range. It's either angry or happy. There's not a lot in between, right? Like, and you almost never see a range of acting emotions.
Yeah, true.
Right. And I think that if you put more emotional color into these stories, I think that they'd probably be a lot better.
Yeah.
Because they're doing the
probably.
exact same thing as that one. Okay, you beat us up, and now you're going to pay, and the only way you're going to stop us is if you put us in the morgue. I've heard this promo 700 million times. Yep. Right? Can we have something new? Britt, come out and tell us why you're devastated that your boyfriend or husband had to watch that beatdown. Why that mattered to you so much. How you're going to get vengeance for what they did to you for that exact move. Right? She didn't even reference it.
Nope, she didn't.
No, the whole thing was just paint by numbers, whatever. Like, okay, you got 2 minutes, go out and do some paint by numbers promoing. Guys, can we see some actual emotion? Like, go watch what the promos Tam was cutting, right? Do some of that. Like, you're upset, you're angry, cry a little if you want. That's great. Like, emote. Oh, I don't know. Am I asking too much, Krishna?
No, no, it's just again, it's kind of boring. What's
Yeah,
happening right now, right?
I know. That's my whole point. Like, I watch like an after match segment on the Cinderella finals that just blew this out of the water on every possible level, right? Just
Yeah.
the emotions, the reactions, the lines. It was just so powerful. And they built up to it so well over months. Months, you know? And you get the payoff.
Yeah.
Here, what's going on? This thing drags out. Now they're just into revenge. We're gonna get some revenge. I guess because then all I start thinking about is Sideshow Bob and revenge.
Revenge.
Oh, then
Don't
we
say
get
revenge. Don't say revenge. Revenge.
revenge. Man. Oh, we get a Jay White and Juice Robinson, Ricky Starks, and of course Sean Spears promo vid for their match on Rampage. They're all going to fight. That's pretty much the gist of the video.
Yeah. I hope Juice and Jay White just destroy these two.
Oh
Like
God,
that's it. I don't care. I just don't care about these two. I just hope that like of all blame people to pick Ricky, you picked Sean Spears. All right. You guys can all sit in that lame zone over there and let Jay White and Juice Robinson beat the crap out of you because that's what's
right.
gonna happen.
The only way this is going to work is if Sean Spears turns on him and joins the Bullet Club Gold.
That'd be pretty cool, actually. We did.
Yeah, because I think Sean Spears would do much better as a member of Bullet Club Gold than he does as Ricky Starks' sidekick. So,
Yeah.
yeah. Anyway, Brian Danielson's music hits. He joins commentary. And then the Butcher and the Blade versus Kenny Omega and Konosuke Takeshita. We get Battle Cry. Hands down, the best theme in all of professional wrestling, bar none. Danielson brings up a good point. And this is what I said earlier. Has Kenny gone after MJF? Have the Bucks gone after the tag titles? Nope. Blade starts off against Takeshita. Blade chops him in the corner, but Takeshita smashes him with a forearm and nails a drop kick before tagging Kenny. They do some rapid tagging, working Blade over. Kenny then hits the "You Can't Escape," and Takeshita hits the high diving senton for 2. Blade then gouges Kenny's eyes, but Omega hits a Hurricane Rana, sending Blade outside. He goes for the Terminator dive, but Kip Sabian trips him up at ringside, and the Butcher blindsides him. Apparently, I can't even read my own notes, guys. Blindsides him on the floor when Kenny goes after Kip, giving the heel team control. Blade tags Butcher in and he works over Kenny, chops, knees. They continue to work Kenny over in the corner for a while. Tony wonders if the Blackpool Combat Club paid off the Butcher and Blade. Danielson thinks that's nuts. Taz backs up Danielson. Danielson thinks Takeshita would be better off training with the BCC. He says Takeshita has been brought in to wash the Elite's balls, just like Cutler and Nakazawa. But Kenny back in the ring. Kenny finally comes back, taking out Blade's knee and hitting the Kitaro Crusher, making the tag to Takeshita, who hits a huge cross body on the Butcher, followed by the Takeshita line, 2 big boots in the corner, and then the sheer drop brainbuster for a near fall. God, Takeshita's good. He goes for a diving knee strike, but Blade interferes. Butcher hits a backbreaker. Blade the stunner, Butcher the lariat, but Kenny breaks up the pin. Some absolute idiots start a CM Punk chant in the audience and get booed out of the building. Omega and Takeshita come back, hitting alternating strikes on Butcher, followed by Takeshita with the Blue Thunder Bomb, but Blade breaks it up. Takeshita nails a jumping knee on Blade, sending him right into the Snapdragon suplex from Kenny, followed by a Tope Con Hero to the outside. Takeshita nails the power drive knee on the Butcher after Kenny's gotten rid of the guys on the outside for the 3. What
Yeah, this
did
is
you
my
think
my
of the
my match of the
match?
night. Match of the night. I mean, come on. Kenny Omega playing the hits alongside with Takeshita. They look really good together. Yeah, so I love this match. I thought it was fantastic. And you put them up against Butcher and the Blade, who are legitimately a great tag team. So, what more could you ask for? Again, match of the night. I think Kenny looked great. Takeshita looked great. Like, I didn't see any type of like confusion or anything like that. I mean, I'm loving where the storyline is going, and we'll talk about this a little bit more. But overall, like I love this match. I thought it was fantastic. So Yeah, my match of the night.
Oh yeah, mine too, mine too. I mean, Takeshita is just so good, and a point, isn't this not his first Dynamite pinfall victory? Pretty sure it's the first time he's got the
Maybe,
three on Dynamite.
maybe, yeah.
He's been beaten an awful lot on Dynamite, but now that he's tagging with Kenny Omega, he
He's
gets the
winning.
win. And they gave Takeshita the pin, right? Which of course
Mm-hmm.
feeds into the aftermatch too. But they gave Takeshita the pin, and man, did he look at him? Him and Kenny, they make such a great tag team. The
They do.
Golden Brothers.
The Golden Brothers. I heard that.
Yep.
Yes.
No, it's Don Callis called them that. So
Mm-hmm.
yep, the Golden Brothers. Great tag team. Loved it. Kudos to the fan. Another positive moment. Kudos to the fans in Florida for booing down the CM Punk chant almost instantly. I don't know why someone thought that was a good idea. Yeah, and I mean, look, the Butcher and Blade, what a great tag team. Seriously.
Yeah.
I
They're
mean, they're
awesome.
so good in the ring. They both know their roles really well. They can both move. They can like look, the Butcher is a big guy that can go. And the Blade, he's such a good wrestler. And then to put him up against these guys, yeah, wonderful match, right? 4 stars, solid 4 stars. Good stuff. Match of the night. And then we move on to the aftermatch. And Brian Danielson says, impressive. He goes, as he's making his way down to ringside. It's interesting because I see one professional wrestler in the ring who got the pinfall and one amateur who looks exhausted, like his best days are behind him, living on a legacy he built in Japan. Next to him is a prodigy that if he trained with, and he screws up a little bit here because the elite, then stops and corrects himself. If he trained with the Blackpool Combat Club, he'd be elite. If he trains with the elite, he'll be washing them in the showers like Nakazawa. Then the Blackpool Combat Club, of course, hits them from behind. They start the beat down on Takeshita and Omega, but the Bucks come out to save them, and they do so. Danielson then tells Takeshita outside the ring to save the because they hold back John Moxley, and they're going to give him the screwdriver. And Danielson tells Takeshita to get in there and save the Blackpool Combat Club. He does. He gets in the way of Omega from using the screwdriver on Mox, and he's like, "Don't do it, don't do it." He begs
Mm-hmm.
Kenny to stop, and then Mox shoves Takeshita into Kenny, and they beat out the elite again. They tell Takeshita that he needs to join them. He's looking kind of confused, and then he refuses. So Yuta kicks him in the groin, and they give him the screwdriver. And then as the show goes off the air, Kenny is checking on Takeshita.
Yeah. Yeah. This is going exactly where we think it's going. Kenny's gonna team with Takeshita, with Ibushi. Hangman's gonna come back and join the Bucks, right? Because Takeshita, it's almost as if because Takeshita stopped him, because it's almost as if like if you do what they do, you're just becoming them, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's why he's trying to he stopped Kenny. But I think the fact that Kenny went in to check on Takeshita after, remember last week he was so confused, like why is this guy here, right? Like
Yep.
what's going on? Um, this is good. This is good, right?
Yep.
Because I kind of feel like the Bucks are going to start saying, well, it's either him or us,
Mm-hmm.
and Kenny can go back and say, well, it was either me or Hangman, and you guys made your choice, right? So
Right.
it's like so many storylines, so many things happening. This Wednesday show is going to be very hard to beat. Just saying, with these guys. So
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. I mean, it's especially when they have Orange Cassidy
And Bandido.
Orange Cassidy and Bandido. I'm just assuming I'm cherry picking guys. I love like Sammy Guevara and Daniel Garcia can represent the JAS on this
Yes,
show.
here. I agree.
Yeah, exactly. 2.0 can go to the Saturday show.
Yep, they
I'll
can.
miss
They
their
can.
antics, but
But they can go. They can go there.
exactly. Exactly. We'll have to discuss like where we think the line should be drawn. Who
Mm,
should go where?
yeah.
Yes. Anyhow, that was AEW Dynamite tonight. What'd you think of the show? Anything on the Omega level? Anything stand out to you?
The only thing that I'm gonna give an Omega level status was Sammy's splash off the top rope. I was just in awe of that move and the way he landed and the big smile on his face outside the ring. So that move, oh my goodness, Sammy Guevara, you're a madman, and yeah, that was on the Omega level.
Yes. That was pretty much a perfect 630 off the top rope through a table. I mean, you couldn't have landed better.
No,
You couldn't have
no.
made it look better. You couldn't have made it look more devastating. And to hit that many rotations, 630 degrees worth. I repeat, 630 degrees, which is 360 plus 270.
Okay. We're gonna
Am I
go with
right?
that.
Did I get it right this
Sure.
time? No, I
I don't
didn't, did
know.
I? I
I
don't
don't
think
know.
so. God damn it. Why am I not getting this right? It makes sense though, right? Because it's 80 degrees, it's what, 90 degrees per quarter. Why am I having trouble with math? I'm usually like amazing at math. So it's 360 for a full rotation, right?
Hmm.
And then to get up to, if you did two of those, that's 720. So that would be two full rotations, right? Right. So, and then you minus 90 degrees for a 1/4 of a rotation from 720, and you have 630,
Yeah.
right? So that should be 1 3/4 rotations, which makes
Yeah.
sense because you start in the upright position, but you end on your back on him, which
Hmm.
is 3/4 of the way around,
Yeah. True.
right? So it's a one complete rotation and then another 3/4 of a rotation, which is a 630.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
That's true.
There.
You
Okay.
got it at
I'm
the
good.
end.
I'm good. I'm good. Sorry, I was not going to let that go. Oh, jet lag, you are my friend today. Anyway, so that does, however, bring our show to a close. And as the great one always says, the man who tried to rescue Konosuke Takeshita at the end of the show as he lay there in a pool of blood. Goodbye, everybody. Mwah, and good night. Bang.
Good night, everyone.